We begin this episode today with a prayer. I haven't been to church in a long time, so I don't know if that's how it goes.
Home.
Yeah, fuck this.
What's up, everybody? Welcome back to another episode of the podcast. Podcast about us.
It's all of us, bro. And welcome back to.
And today, all of us means you too, God.
I love you, God.
We love you, God. Jesus Christ.
So how are you, Angel?
I'm doing good. I'm doing good. What you can't just come up from back then. Whatever, dude. I don't know what I just said. I'm doing good. I'm doing all right,
Nice.
man.
It's been a while since we've done a solo episode. That's kind of what we're doing right now, right?
Solo, yeah. Actually, even I thought the Rambo one was a solo episode, but it wasn't. We had our homie Justin. Go check out that episode if you haven't.
It's got no views.
Yeah, we were kind of thinking about how it's been a while since me and Chris just sat down, kind of had a little discussion, gotten to know a little bit about each other, because like that was something we were talking about. How for the most part we don't have to get to know each other anymore.
Right.
It's like we're talking about either we already know this information or we can kind of guess what the other person thinks about a certain thing.
I think that's what really worked about our first season. I didn't even realize it when I was living through it, but we were strangers to each other. So therefore we had opposing opinions and we were comfortable with each other, and it was like a special relationship where we were comfortable with each other enough to like challenge each other on it.
Yeah, and we had times where episodes would just be like, what do you feel like talking about right now? Oh, I don't know. Let's do school, education. And then fucking an hour and a half later, fuck school. I like it. And
we had been talking about doing a religion episode even since the first season. And that's kind of why this is a little bit of a return to form, because this is an unused season 1 idea.
Yeah, a throwback, a nostalgia episode.
This is we wanted a religion is something that I've always been very vocal about, that it's been a big part of my life.
For the majority of your life, religion has been a part of your life.
Yeah,
right?
In a big way, and it isn't until you get out of it.
Wait. We gotta fucking address something here.
What thing?
Chris is not in his usual getup. Today, Chris is what you might call a lady product.
That's right, Angel.
Pertel, what's a church-going, God-loving boy like you doing dressed up in that darn dumb costume there?
Well, I'm glad you asked, Angel, because I've been trying to think of a reason, waiting for you to address it and think of a good enough reason to respond to it, and I think I have one. This is my grossly exaggerated representation of how many of you need to put a fucking tampon on yourselves and get over that Kanye's doing a fucking Jesus album. Quit being fucking awkward. We get it. You don't believe in God. You don't have to be a fucking jerk about it.
Kanye?
Deal with it just like we deal with your fucking shit.
Dang.
And allegory over, I'm taking this shit off.
Dude, he's taking the Tampax out. Damn, if only it was that easy for anyone to take a Tampax out. Right? Am I right?
Am I right, ladies? Hello.
There he is. There's the real Chris.
How's it going?
His metaphor done.
Metaphor over. No, I'm just kidding. My dad made that, and I wanted an excuse to wear it on the episode. So, mission accomplished. We have another grossly exaggerated image.
We have another publication photo to add, like just Chris.
There's us as cholos. Now me as a tampon.
Perfect. It's just like, what kind of podcast do you guys do? It's like, hey, we have a lot of fun here.
We sure do.
All right, going back to the topic at hand, religion. Chris, why is this such an important thing for you to want to talk about? I don't like religion. I don't want to talk about it.
You've told me this, yes. And I think that's kind of what makes me, you know, it reminds me of when Trump got elected, and I feel like, at least personally, I became a lot prouder to be brown. I think when I see now that, like, Christianity is being a little bit more talked about, I don't like to embrace the religion side of it, Christianity. I think that all that stuff's kind of baloney. As far as just like the lenience, certain churches, like, it's just like it's all up to the church, and then it's like, well, if it's up to a church, why can't it just be up to me? You know, like if you get to decide how God is and like what are the constructs, like why can't I decide that for myself too?
So you believe God and religion happens inside?
It can only happen here. I think churches are good because it gets everybody on the same page. But I think once you start following just a church and just a pastor, that gives them too much power over you.
When was the last time you were in church?
We stopped going to church. So I used to be a Christian, full-on Christian. We used to go to this church. I'll call them out. Fuck it. Llamada Final. You know, I know. Well, that's like the big one. Like that pastor, and I'll say this on the fucking air. That pastor is basically the one that like forced my parents to get married.
Dang.
Yeah, and every time we hear that story, we're like, fucking hermano, bro. Like, and then Brandon will just be like, God damn, I hate him. And then like it's the joke like, is because, you know, if he didn't meddle in, then neither of us would exist.
True, dude. He created you.
He did, but you know, in a way, like when I think about my parents as people, I think that's kind of like not cool, you know, to force them into something like that. Like, of course, I'm enjoying my life right now. I'm glad I exist. I'm glad I'm making something of it. But
imagine someone was like, get married or you're going to hell.
Yeah. Yeah, pretty much.
And imagine that really scared you.
Yeah, and especially if you're a 19-year-old immigrant, like you just got to this country.
Would high school Chris be peer pressured into, like, if a powerful, like, religious figure was like, do it or I will tell God?
Well, I did believe in it. I did believe in it that strongly at one point. So if I had sought my religion and my commitment to it through like my teenage years to my adulthood. Yeah, probably. Yeah. But especially because, like in the case of my dad, he had to get married because my mom was the pastor's secretary. Ooh, I'm like, like, dude, like, no one from that church is gonna watch this now. But when we're fucking like adults and famous, like this information's gonna get out, and everyone's just gonna be like, oh shit. But anyway, my mom was a secretary for this guy. Dude, just dropping names. What are you doing? Dude, I'm just dropping. This is like a church scandal. He touched me, Mom. No, I'm just kidding. No, he didn't. The Lord did not touch me. I repeat, he did not touch me. Stop talking.
What are you doing right now?
Okay, I'm sorry.
Dude, fucking.
But yeah, my
God
dad
is looking down.
I know. Yeah, that's.
What?
I think that's the whole idea of this episode, right?
Dude, Chris is working through some shit.
I am. I kind of am. But yeah, my dad was 19 when he got here. I think there was another point I was making, but I already lost it. It's too funny. Oh no, yeah. So my mom was a secretary. My mom was a secretary for this guy, and my dad started dating her, and then he kind of like posed it to them like, hey, well, if you're gonna be dating around, he's like, you can't just be, you can't just be, you know, horsing around. You gotta be, you got to be committed, and you have to either break up with her if you're not serious or marry her. And in a way, I can't, like, when I put my mind back into like the Christianity space, I'm like, yeah, I guess that makes sense. Like, if you, especially when you're really into someone, you can convince yourself of anything. You can convince yourself, yeah, I could spend a life with you. If you really love someone, if you're really in that headspace, top that off with you want to be committed to your religion, you want to be a good person, you want to be a good follower of God. I can see how that's an appealing life to present to my dad when he's like a fucking new immigrant that has nothing.
That's interesting. I don't know. Religion has always scared me. Like, I think it's because it's always been like a forced thing for me. Like, it was never something that interested me just because I'm a pretty lazy person, and so someone's like, go here every week and then give them money. I was like, the fuck, I don't have any money to give. And then like I don't know, having to wake up early, having to dress good. It was always like a chore. It was a chore. I saw like, it was weird because my family would talk about religion in a way where it's like helps their life just because they believe in it. And like, I didn't understand how that was possible. It's like, what is belief doing? Like, because it wasn't tangible. It's it's not something that you can feel or see. And it's just like always being reminded. Thank God for everything good that happens to you. It's like, the fuck, God didn't do shit. I did this. I got this fucking A. I don't know. That was the biggest accomplishment as a kid. I got this fucking B plus. That was me. I finished this book. God didn't read.
You didn't like the idea that you had to share your glories with another.
I didn't like that someone was like, what you accomplished, that doesn't mean shit. Because there's a person that they did that for you.
That's a very negative way to look at it.
I think that, well, that's for me.
That's crazy that's how you process that.
Yeah, like that.
Because I did not process that like in that way at all.
Yeah, because it's just like I didn't.
To me, what I felt is to counter that literally. It felt to me not that you don't mean shit and God did it for you. It's just like that, like God found you worthy enough, like to help out, or like that he thought this was a good opportunity to like help you out. And like if it was a test, it's like, you know what, he's been good. I'm gonna help him out with this thing. Like it felt like, oh, like I was good. I was a good kid.
That's crazy. That's so crazy.
Right?
Like, I did not.
Like, it felt like he's on my side.
Dude, God was always an enemy, dude.
Dude, that's insane.
God was always, like, an obstacle. And just like this, I always saw God and religion in general as, like, the source for most of the horrible things that happen in the world. Like, famously, everyone always says, more people have been killed in the name of God than anything else, like, in the world, you know?
Yeah.
Like, more people put the blame on, or just like, I did this for you, for religion. And that's how I always saw religion. I always saw it as a dangerous thing that fuck it, that like would control the minds of you know, like less educated, more like malleable minds. Like what is it? Religion is the opiate of the masses is like a famous line, which just means like religion is the thing that numbs the brains of everybody. Like that's what like certain philosophers.
That's how you make sense of.
That's how certain philosophers like view it, and that made sense to me. It's like, yeah, of course, religion is a way to control people. Like that's how I've always seen it. It's never been a good thing.
I can agree with that.
And like
the faith, I think faith and religion are two separate things.
Mm-hmm.
That's why to me, I'm gonna state this right now just because like I want to get this out of the way and not save it for later. But that's why I always get like high key but low key bothered when someone like Justin, for example, is like, oh fuck God, foo-ha. And that always bothers me because I can take it and I'm not like legitimately upset about it. But to me, it's like that sucks that like he can do that to me, but he can't do that to someone like a Muslim, or he wouldn't say that he wouldn't have that same energy with a Muslim foo. Or a fucking Jewish guy.
I think it's a comfortability thing. If I was super cool with a Muslim dude, I'd be like, yeah, fuck God. I'd be like, what the fuck? I would definitely make fun of his. If he was super religious and I was like as close to him or her as I was to you, of course I would fucking clown on him, because I would be like, in that case, I'd be like, your shit's more ridiculous. You know, you have to pray like a certain time every day, facing a certain religion.
But like.
I wouldn't do it just to be a dick, but like, if they were like bringing up some fucking Muslim shit like in our normal conversations, I'd be like, come on, bro, I don't want to hear this shit.
It's weird because I hate Christians, but I also have sympathy for them because I'm like, man, like I got out of it like when I was like 13, 14, but like I've always maintained my faith.
You got out of it.
I did. I got out of it.
Escaped.
We escaped it. That's how I describe it, because that's honestly what it felt like. Just life just became so much loose after that. Like,
what changed? What did you break away from?
Well, we left because my parents, like I said, my parents got split up, so my mom just kind of stopped. Just didn't have the energy. First of all, it was just because she didn't have the energy. Like at first, I just thought, oh, she just doesn't believe anymore. I just think she just literally didn't have the energy because she would spend all those weeks crying. Every day, just crying. So like, I'm like, it makes sense that you wouldn't have the energy to go, and like, why go and face everybody without your husband who you used to go with a bunch? So I think that was kind of what stopped us at first. And then this is the last time I ever went to church. I think it was like in 2013, but we went again because, you know, my mom had a couple years with the divorce already. She was cool. She was chilled out. I was older. and we had kind of missed going to church. We had gotten into a habit of watching. Who's actually a really cool pastor, Pastor Craig Rochelle of Life Church.
Oh, a good one! Finally,
he's a good one. No, I love him. I genuinely love him. I think, he's not as big as Joel Osteen, but he should be because I think he's the most genuine.
You'd invite him to the carne asada?
Oh, dude, anytime. Like, cause he's just a genuinely cool dude. Like his podcast, lifechurch.tv.
He's got a podcast.
Well, yeah, the services are called podcasts. And they're just like general like life rules, and just like guidelines, like or just like tips. And he just like he tells you basically like, I think one episode is just about how to love someone, right? And then you get there's like 4 episodes from 4 different chapters of the Bible.
God's tips to getting a girlfriend. Thou shalt wear cologne.
Anyway, that's not the point. The last time we went to church, I was so excited to go back because we had just been watching those Life Church videos, and I was ready to be like with other people again and see all my old classmates because I had kind of grown up with them. Like aside from kids at school, like I had kind of grown up with these particular kids, like Rachel, Jacob, all these fucking fools.
Damn, very religious names.
Yeah.
Jacob 316.
Yeah, there was Leviticus, which was actually real. There was Leviticus, Levi, we called him.
Austin 316.
Dude, shout out to all you guys. Jacob. Oh, I already said Jacob. Ethan. Little Ethan.
Ethan 512.
Ethan 512. Ethan's not a book in the Bible.
I don't fucking know. The devil.
Oh, everybody. I love that. Anyway. I love that I'm comfortable around that because, dude, like that joke you just made, the devil. Like I'd be like, Angel, can you please not do that around me? Because again, it was a hard transition out. But anyway, the last day I went to church, no, everybody ignored us pretty much. We were gone for 2 years, and like I kind of wanted to like I saw all my old classmates.
So church was like a social event.
Yeah, because we had kind of we weren't terribly
like there was
close.
like regulars
Yeah,
and like
yeah.
people.
Oh, dude, yeah. Like we grew up with each other. Like we ended up going to Madre Final was the church that my mom and my dad went to. But then I didn't like going to the Spanish churches, so we went to this one in Santa Fe Springs. Called
Classic Chris, be like, I don't get it.
I don't get it. Get accustomed to my likings.
Mom, Dad, this is America. I don't know if you know.
Get me the plain cheeseburgers of Christian
Dude,
churches.
I love that. I love this fake.
So we
history.
went to this church, and it was all English. And then up until from like when I was like 6 or 7 until like I was 14, I was there. I spent a lot of like my come up years there. But anyway, last day of church, everybody ignored me. They ignored our whole family. Like they acted like they didn't know us, and that really hurt me that day because I was like, I was just really excited to reconnect with y'all.
Your tribe turned their backs.
And you know what? Now that I'm thinking about it, like I think that's why moments like that, like in the movie, like the Joker, just like when like the people that you just want to like be friends with, like just like turn their back on you, like they don't recognize you. Like that's what hurt. And I was just like, you know what? I'm like. Say what you will about those other fucking kids that I go to school with. Like, yeah, I know in your eyes they're sinners. I'm like, but at least they're all fucking loyal and they don't act like they're strangers.
Chris was like, he without sin cast the first stone.
I love that you think that me and my Christian friends all speak in like old English with each other. Ye forgotten about me.
You turn
God shall cast you into the fires and pits of hell.
To the fiery pits of Mordor.
Dude, like...
So how did that happen? How did the transition... How did you start liking Lord of the Rings?
Pretty much. Well, I had gotten into Lord of the Rings even when I was in Christianity, but that's because VeggieTales had excused it because they did a parody called Lord of the Beans, and that's how I convinced my parents to let me watch it. I just told stories to someone else, and I just realized I have not told you this. Yeah, but that's how I started getting into Lord of the Rings because of VeggieTales.
Dang, VeggieTales.
Dude, shout out VeggieTales because you got me to watch Lord of the Rings.
Gateway drug.
And I got to have that from my elementary school years. So thank you all because. Pretty much like the Christian lifestyle, like in a very short quick sentence I can make is everything was limited, under like it was just like if it was like so like if VeggieTales, right, if they parodied Indiana Jones and called it Minnesota Cute, that meant I could watch Indiana Jones movies.
Oh, shit.
If they did
that was mom logic?
It was just like mom was just like, okay, well if VeggieTales is like talking about it, then it's cool. Then it must be cool because she was trying to adjust to more because she grew up in a very Mexican Christian household and she wanted our household to be more American in that there was a lot of leniency. Like, we could watch action movies by ourselves. We could see PG-13 movies by ourselves. Like, we could watch Nickelodeon. We could watch Cartoon Network. Like, that was cool. Like, that was fine. But we just couldn't listen to rock and roll, and we couldn't watch rated R movies by ourselves. Like, that was pretty much like the big rule for like most of my childhood. Like, no outside music, only Christian music.
Chris lived in the what's like the era where rock and roll's the devil.
Like the 80s.
Yeah, I guess so. Yeah.
The 80s,
Chris lived in an 80s household where they're like,
Pretty
Kiss, no Kiss.
And it's funny because my dad used to like brag about how he used to listen to Guns N' Roses. I'm like, can I listen to one? He'd just be like, no.
He'd be like,
there's a cool band called Guns N' Roses. Like, I remember one time he was making me a sandwich, and he was describing Welcome to the Jungle. He's like, it's a cool song. It's got a solo. And I'm like, can we hear it? He's like,
what's a solo?
No.
You're like, it's the most mind-blowing shit you'll ever hear. And then he goes,
he sings the wrong song.
that's Welcome to the Jungle.
No, that's Night Train.
Oh, Night Train is the song.
No. Oh,
Never heard
no.
it.
Never mind. Sorry, you were saying something else. Oops.
Well, anyway, Dad loved Guns N' Roses, but he was like, too bad that's my old life.
So the transition into a more relaxed, like now radar movies were cool. Now rock and like any other music was cool because my mom was just too sad. And I could care.
And so Chris was like, fuck it.
And me and Brandon were just like, dude, Simpsons, Family Guy,
like,
dude, fucking South Park, dude. We got in all the rated R movies. We fucking, that entire summer, 2009, we watched like every rated R movie we could think of on like the free online website.
Oh,
like,
shit.
The
LimeWire.
1, 2, 3 movies for me or
Put
whatever.
Locker.
Yeah, dude, we watched everything. And so the years after that, it was me being just like getting used to a lifestyle where just people just like were openly like against God. Because I had never really hung out with people in school until like my parents got divorced. And so then I didn't really realize how much people like just in the regular world are just completely anti-God. So that really hurt me at first to have to like.
You're like, what?
To have to be friends with people that were just open like, yeah, I don't believe in God. I'm an atheist. Like that just made me
You're like, but you're going to hell.
Yeah, I'm like, but you're going to hell. You're cool with that?
That's fucking terrifying, dude.
You're dumb. And to where it is now, you know, I think where it is now, I think is like the coolest it can ever be. I mean, you know, things might change when I get older because I think when you get older, you just want a simpler life. And so maybe like if I'm being honest, I might be the type that would lean back on just like, I'm just going to go back to it and be not terribly but like Chris Pratt Christian, you know? You ever see his Instagram, how he's just kind of like, he's chill, but he
dude,
like, he'll bring up like a Bible verse.
I hate people like that. I've had to unfollow and mute so many people.
Okay, I want to talk to you about this too because like there's a person sort of close to you that is like a Christian person. You told me that you don't care for their posts.
My biggest pet peeve is when someone gets on the gram and starts going, today, oh my God, God is good. God is good. God has given me this. What a blessing, Lord Jesus. God is good. And I'm just like, bro, I'm like, what the fuck are you doing? Like,
do you think it's a crazy thing for a person to put out there?
It looks crazy to me. Like it looks
insane,
like
dude.
It looks like a crazy person. That's crazy.
Because to me that shit just it's no different from people like giving themselves like positive affirmations in the mirror, right? Only you're just saying God. You're not like saying like oh Yoda, speak to me, because you're like I know Yoda's a fictional character.
Oh, but dude, come on, bro. I just look at you, I'm like,
but
really though?
But there's proof of Yoda being a fictional character. There is no proof of God being a fictional character.
Oh, dude, calm down, Mr. Billboard right here. There's no proof of it doesn't exist. Dude, I see those fucking posters on the highway. Definitive evidence that God exists. Like, it literally just says, there is proof.
No, I'm not saying there's no evidence. I'm saying well, you know what I'm saying.
I know what you're saying.
You know what I'm saying.
You're just like, the absence of... that's what fucking... I'm sorry I'm offending you right now, Chris. That's what Bigfoot people fucking say. They're just like, hey, there's no evidence that there isn't a Bigfoot.
But to me, God is like...
And look, this isn't me fucking... trying to convince anyone to not be religious, like at all.
No, I don't get that vibe. Again, I think we all just live our own
and also
lives and beliefs.
I like to fucking bust people's balls, and of course I'm gonna fucking make fun of going back to the Justin thing. That's why we do it, because we know like if we're just like, yeah, fuck God, like you're gonna be like, well, man, like God's cool.
No, again, I don't mind it because I'm okay with teasing.
It's like how
it's just good to know that it doesn't come from a place where you're just trying to be like dismissive about it. Because I'm like,
no, it's not
that's
dismissive.
Cool.
It's like how Gabe would just randomly mention Natalie around Michael Cerna, just because it's just like it's like, why the fuck? Why'd you say that? And because he knows it's gonna bug you.
Yeah.
So
because I love that. Like one time I tweeted. All right, this is the final thing I'll say about the Justin. Fucking Justin here in every episode, bro.
Every single one, bro.
I tweeted something like, man, today was a good day. Like I didn't have this much money and there was food at home and I didn't have to spend anything. I'm like, God's good to me. This is great. Justin just writes back, God doesn't exist, fool. And then on top of that, I'm pretty sure he got on Counterculture's Twitter just to like that tweet. So I see Counterculture like God does not exist, fool. And it's just like, man, Justin, like, I wasn't even talking to you, bro.
Yeah,
I'm just like having
that
a
was
moment.
between me and God.
Yeah, that was between me and God. See your way out of it, Satan.
You devil worshiper.
No, but it's all good though. I like bringing that up because I wonder if there's other people who might feel that way too. Because I know strange. Funny enough, there's a lot of people that we know. I can't think of them off the top of my head, but that come from the same background as I do, where they're coming out of heavy religious households, and I often wonder how they feel about what's their relationship to their belief.
And we're gonna talk about growing up in a religious household and how our roots and our culture influence our religiousness. When we come back after
and we're
this
gonna talk
break.
about Kanye. Sorry, we just.
Oh yeah, we're gonna talk about Kanye West.
We'll get to Kanye, but this was just nice because I missed having moments like that where Angel and I could just reveal new things about each other.
This is like I was like, oh shit, we're doing a podcast right now, huh? Anyway, we'll get back into it right now after the break. Bye. See you soon. Bye.
Love.
Beep, beep.
Hi, does anybody know where I can take old coins at all to get like, I don't know, their value? It's like an old coin from, I think it's a replica, but I just need to know where I can take coins to check if it's authenticated.
Boom, doom,
Sing me a church hymn, Chris.
I thought you'd never ask.
Bring us back into the episode with a hymn.
Let's do it.
An easy one that I can follow along to.
All right, this one's easy. Blessed be the name of the Lord. Blessed be your name.
Oh, Lord.
Blessed be the name of the Lord. Blessed be your glorious name. You give and take away. You give and take away. To my heart will choose to say,
Jesus,
Lord, blessed be your name.
Bless the Lord God.
Let's hear it one time for Jesus. Wow. Those are all the live albums we had to listen to.
Oh shit, it's Jesus.
He's like fucking Daft Punk. Blessed be the name of the land that is plentiful with a stream. Those are the real lyrics though.
It's like, oh shit.
Dude, I want to see in my lifetime if Jesus doesn't return with a fucking electric guitar busting out the solo to November Rain by Guns N' Roses, I will be thoroughly disappointed. Your move, God.
Well, Chris,
sorry, I'm not that bold. With
Chris,
God. Sorry,
dude,
God.
he just shit.
I just challenged
Chris
God.
has to do like 15 Hail Marys
I'm
now.
sorry, God. I'm sorry.
Yeah.
I'm sorry.
Oh
I'm
shit,
sorry.
dude, you're seeing fucking. He's like, no.
I wish I
dude.
was kidding, but the saddest thing is that like I'm legit meaning these.
Dude, look, Chris is begging. He's like, please forgive me, higher power.
Please, I'm sorry.
You are finally seeing Chris at the mercy.
It's
of
true. I do that all the time.
else.
Every time I just I'm like, God damn it, God, or like when I got mad, I was like, I'm sorry, I didn't mean that.
Do you feel like, I don't know, how do Christians feel comparing themselves to God?
Comparing themselves?
Like just being like, do you feel like I am an insignificant like part of this world compared to this creator of the universe?
Look, here's how I just see life in general, and here's why God doesn't bother me being a part of it. Because, we all say like, oh, like, does that make us just mean that we're meaningless and whatever? I'm like, no, it just means like we're here on our own little assignment. I mean, to us, it's a career, it's a life, it's a legacy. But to us, I mean, I imagine like for the human soul, it's just a little assignment. It's just like, here, go have fun on Earth, go live a life, and then come back.
All right, Chris, I'm gonna test your faith right now.
All right, this is interesting. I don't know what he's gonna do.
So, if God is real, why the fuck are there no dinosaurs in the fucking Bible, Chris? Explain that. Why are there dinosaur bones but no dinosaurs in your supposed history of the world Bible?
That's interesting, because I remember I used to ask the same thing, and I think the way somebody explained it to me, I might be misremembering, but I believe okay, because see, we're going by the belief that dinosaurs were the first things on Earth, right? By the Bible standards, Adam and Eve were the first things on Earth.
Oh, yes.
So it's different, because I think what it implies is, I think what the timeline is, I never really asked, but I always imagine that the Adam and Eve stuff happened before, there was different animals and creatures because Adam named them all. Is that
right?
Yeah. So the Christian belief, Adam named all the animals.
Why'd you do this whole episode? I'm like,
I forgot that was actually a thing, but yes, Adam named all the animals. If you're ever wondering what Christians believe, we believe that Adam named it. History fact. Write that down, kids.
And God, in 7 days,
challenge your mom on it.
6 days, God just like took a pee, created the universe.
Took a pee?
Yeah, he just peed all over the universe.
Why is it a peeing act? Like, could he just pop
with his finger, because he looks just like us?
Yes.
And then he was like, "There you go, Sundays."
He's like, "Dang, I'm tired.
You better pray. You better pray for me."
I made all this. Yeah. It's the least we could do.
So then, when dinosaurs come?
I don't know. Why are dinosaurs that important to you?
Why aren't they in the Bible?
I don't know. I'm not sure why.
Do you know that some religious people say that fossils?
Why don't we check it out? We have a fucking laptop right here.
Fossils are a trick. Like, the fossils were planted there by God to test people's faith or some shit. That's what some people believe.
I would have been convinced of that.
Is God that much of a trickster, Chris? Why is God always trying to trick people?
I should have been ready for this. Why is God always trying to trick people?
Why do you make that guy almost kill his son for?
That was to test his faith.
Damn, that's pretty mean.
Well, they were olden times, and God was still a new God of people.
He was young. He was hip.
He's young. He's like a little rough. He's like, all right, let me see if I can He's like a new manager at a restaurant. Like, yeah, he's responsible, but now he's like, okay,
that's Old Testament. That's Old Testament.
But yeah, Old Testament God was pretty ruthless, but New Testament God was
just
chill.
like, I fucked up. Flood.
Yeah. We'll do this. We'll get it right this time.
I promise.
I hope.
Wink.
Yeah.
Did God make aliens?
I think so. I think so.
Yeah.
I think so. I think he did make aliens. I think there are a lot of beings out there that exist. I seem crazy. I think that there are a lot of beings out there that exist that aren't just us. I think, and they're not even just exclusively aliens. I think they're like life forms that live like on other planets that are like us. Like it's just as normal as like this is to us.
I'm like, Call 911.
Like, you're saying you didn't go to college, young man?
Yeah, she's like, so God's an alien? Is that what I'm getting? And you're like, no, God made all aliens, right? Wait. So why all of a sudden did we want to start talking about religion? What made you remember that you love religion?
So I put out a tweet that I thought was hilarious, and it pretty much just said,
Pull it up.
Here it is. It's like, I love how awkward everybody's being about this new Kanye Christian album. I was like, I've been listening to this shit. Welcome to my world, bitch. Y que Dios te bendiga.
Dang. Welcome to my Sunday service.
Oh, I said welcome to my childhood. There you go. Yeah.
Dang. Jesus
so
Lord.
I'm kind of stoked about it, because I'm like, people are gonna listen to it. Even if they're saying, "Oh, it's trash.
I don't like it. This is not good. Kanye sucks.
Like, you're still gonna listen to it, and you still like Kanye made y'all listen to a Christian album,
Dude.
like you like to make fun of Kanye, but Kanye kind of finessed y'all. Like, you were listening to the music I had to grow up on.
Kanye had some really religious lines that kind of bothered me, like closed on Sundays. Do
My Chick-fil-A,
saying, dude, I really
#1
felt
with the
his love.
lemonade.
Really feel that fucking love.
Once
for
again, Kanye is trolling all of you, and you're all just falling for it, and it's so beautiful to watch. Everybody just fall right into exactly what he crafts. Fucking I love it. So you're such a fucking like the scoop diddy whoop poop. I wanted to fuck my he knows what he's doing, and everybody the fact that everybody still reacts like, how could Kanye? I'm like, how are you surprised? Literally, like, how are you surprised?
He got a pretty good tax break by becoming a Christian. So
What do you mean?
like he got a lot of money back being like a born again Christian or some shit like that.
No way.
Yeah. Dude.
How? From who?
He got from the government. The government, bro.
But Christianity doesn't have anything to do with your income, does it?
Yeah, dude. If you're a part of like church and shit, you get so many. Churches don't pay taxes, dog. All that fucking millions and millions of dollars that they get from donations that go straight into their fucking pockets. They're not contributing shit to the community.
Oh no, I do agree on that. Fucking Joel Osteen, famous Joel Osteen. Like, we grew up worshiping him, by the way. Like, my mom bought all his books. We watched his services on Sundays sometimes if we were just curious or bored. And you remember how when they had that flood in Houston, how he famously didn't want to let people in and shit, and people were like,
"Oh, dude, yeah." So, see that's what happens. Like, money corrupts fucking religion and shit.
And so, Joel Osteen just recently invited Kanye to come perform at his church, and then someone made a great tweet that said, "I love how Joel Osteen is more opening to Kanye than he was to the flood victims."
Yep.
And I tend to agree. I think the super Christians or the fucking the people with they call his church a super church because it's a fucking massive stadium.
Fucking super mega churches, bro.
Yeah, and I think those people, I think you guys are fucking sus as fuck.
Wait, so I think the thing
I don't trust you.
The thing about this Kanye album is that people are just so skeptical because how am I ever supposed to trust a single thing that comes out of this dude's mouth? You know?
Okay, see. That's a fucking legit concern because you're right. But
I see Kanye doing a religious album, and I see Kanye seeing a market he hasn't exploited yet, and he's just like, God.
He's been open about religion.
He's been a Christian before, yes, but he's never he's talked about God and his love of God, but he's never been like, I'm gonna start doing gospel music. I don't know. It just still feels like it's about Kanye. It's still about him.
It's about like Fantano says in his review, it's not a Christian album per se, it's more about his relationship with his religion. And I completely saw it as that. Like, even the Chick-fil-A thing, I'm like, yeah, this is a fun, I like that he made a safe, cheeky, stupid, fun little song for just Christians can legit bump that song and there's it won't offend anybody. Because it's just some rap song. So in a way, I see that
there's no F words, there's no cussing, SH words.
There's no cussing. Here, I'll run down through the track list. So here's what the album looks like. I'm gonna start from track 1, Every Hour. Track 2, Sella, shout out. he wrote a song for us. Track 3, Follow God. Track 4, Closed on Sunday. That's the Chick-fil-A one. Track 5, On God.
On sight.
That's on God. On sight. No, he says that if I see the devil, tell the devil if I see him, it's on sight, man.
Oh my God.
That's great callback. Track 6.
Yeah, get that devil, Kanye. Poof.
Track 6, Everything We Need. Track 7, Water, which everybody hates. I don't really remember that song all that much. Track 9, God Is. Track 10, Hands On. Track 11, or I kind of lost count. Use This Gospel, featuring low-key Pusha T. He's not credited, but he's in there. And someone named Clips and Kenny G at the end with a killer solo. Have you heard the whole album? Mm-hmm. And then the last one is Jesus Is Lord.
Pretty catchy names.
Yeah, man, that's straight out of that's straight out of the handbook of how to make a Christian album. Those are the titles.
It's like, what's the song of this? What's the name of this song, Kanye? God is. God is what?
He
That's
is.
That's why.
Huh?
Here, go fucking sell this T-shirt for $220.
Okay,
I
you know
love
what?
God.
You know what? Okay, can I say something about that? I know
Yeah.
I know everybody has a problem with that, and I do too. I still think it's fucking stupid. But I was listening to Kanye and Zane Lowe the other day. I mean, actually, it might have been today. He makes those shirts himself. He grows his own hemp, and like he makes the material all himself, and he keeps the manufacturing in the States. So I don't think he ever explicitly said this is why they're expensive. But I think that's a part why, because he's like legit. He's not just like going to fucking. He's not just going buying some like polo shirts from like those like Dickies stores like in the corner.
in the fucking the cheap the
Like the
fucking
polo,
arts
the
district
501s or whatever,
yeah.
like shit like that. Yeah, like he's not just going to the art.
clearance
Yeah,
sale.
he's not just going to the clearance sale art district stores and just getting white shirts like $200 because I touched them. Ah.
I feel like he is.
But to me, I was
But
like,
I don't know.
I don't know. Like, I think Kanye, especially when I hear him talk about fashion and stuff, I think he's very passionate about that. So I don't think any of that stuff on that end is like fake, because I think he just puts too much time and too much energy into it. And like, I know the results to people look stupid, but it's like it's his money that he's playing with.
That's
and
true.
It's his like it's
can
what
do
he
what he
likes.
wants.
It's his vision.
He can do what he wants. It's his money. It's his clothes. They're selling.
But you have a problem thinking that he's just trying to exploit.
Yeah, to me, that's what it feels like. Like, yes, he's always been religious, whatever. But this, especially with all these Sunday services and all this, like, it just looks like flash. It just looks like a spectacle. Like, he's just like, and it worked. People were talking about. People were like, "Wait, what the fuck? Kanye West is doing a Sunday service at Coachella?" Like, everyone was talking about it, and it was just like such a like unique thing. And he was just like, it just seemed more like a product, like more and more just like he fucking made a movie of Jesus is King. You know, like all this to me just smells like exploitation of something, and I think it's working. And
I think a lot of people feel the way you feel, so that's good that you get to voice that.
yeah, it's like I like the album. I like.
I was gonna say, how did it affect your listening?
I
to
like
it?
half of it. I think so. But the religious thing is, it's like my least favorite thing. But I just like I don't feel anything religious about it except for the words. Like I think it takes more than words for something to feel religious. Like this shit just like it just sounded like Kanye saying God and Jesus and Bible verses over trap beats and shit.
God is. That's the one where he goes, that's my wife, that's my life, that's the kid. I thought that was such an emotional performance. Like that's where I really just felt like I know he's a rich guy, but like this fool, like in his head, like not in his head, but like in his reality, like these things that we see as like, come on, clean that with money. Like some of these things are like legit problems for him. And so I connected them in that way, and especially in that performance. God is, I don't think anybody's really giving him. He's singing on that, and he's singing really good. And I know I'm pretty sure it's him. Yeah, it's just like that's the crib, that's the. I didn't when I heard that to me was just like, okay, like Kanye's having fun on this album where he's just like he's crafting cool like little gospel songs, you know, he's having fun with it. But this is where I felt like he was really trying to say something and trying to give you a piece of his heart.
Yeah, I think for me, I think it just comes down to I don't like Kanye as a person, and I think that's going to influence the way I see everything he does. Like, he's never apologized for his whole fucking supporting Trump shit, and he's never gonna because he's Kanye West. You know, he's never going to get up
Hasn't
there.
he doubled down on that?
He's doubled down, but now he doesn't mention it anymore because he wants people to forget about it. But he won't do the right thing and say sorry because he's Kanye West and it's not on brand to say sorry. His fucking hats are dark blue, like a complete representation of him wanting to distance himself from his fucking MAGA hat wearing persona that was last year.
I didn't pick up on that.
You know, it's just like it's blatant. Like he obviously regrets it, but he won't go out and fucking say it. He won't go out and say sorry. I was stupid. You know, he will never say that, even though he probably thinks that.
But do you think that sorry is the only gateway to just moving on?
Because
Really?
he will never. He's not admitting that he was wrong.
What if
he's
he,
not
what
admitting?
if he admitted it to himself?
That's the fuck. What the fuck does that do for anybody?
Well,
that's
but,
like
no,
me-
but that's what I'm saying. But like, okay.
He betrayed so many of his fucking people, and he won't just go out and
Okay,
say.
because I'm thinking as a person,
sorry.
like if you were doing some personal growth, I guess you would have to apologize to people in order to feel better, because you're showing them like, hey, I'm making an active change and I wanted to let it be, acknowledge that I fucked up. And
Yeah, like make it public, because
I see. I guess I say, because I'm like, does it
like there was like a Twitter feed we looked at like sometime where like a person was being called out for some fucked up shit that they did, and their response was just like,
Oh, yeah.
I'm not a perfect person. I love God, and this is between me and God, and I know I'm a good person. I know God sees it. You know, that to me is such a fucking cop out of just being
I agree.
like,
I agree. And there are people who can like, who just straight up like have no faith, or just because they come from Catholic backgrounds, just like use God for anything. But yeah, I see that there are
God
people
knows who I really am.
Yeah,
Shit
that's
like that.
Yeah, that's bullshit.
And so for like if Kanye is like, I know who I am, like I know I'm not this person. It's like, but dude, you're on fucking tape saying I would have voted for Trump, you know, and then took pictures with him and supported him, and Trump has done so much horrible shit, said so much horrible shit, that I think for me, Kanye owes his fucking fans an apology, and I'm pretty sure we're never gonna get it. And for me, and that taints everything that he puts out, and that to me corrupts every good thing he tries to do. This fucking Jesus is king. You're fucking telling me that this person who less than a year ago, or maybe a little more than a year ago, was supporting this fucking racist, xenophobic, fucking misogynistic, horrible person, and what changed? He found God. Like that shit just it doesn't make sense to me. You know, like, to me, I'm just like, this is like the most pessimistic thing you can do, but it's just like he's trying to fucking throw a blanket of Christianity over him so people will be like me now. And it's kind of working, because people aren't talking about the Kanye Trump shit anymore. Everyone's talking about either Kanye's crazy, he's religious now, or like, I love Kanye, he's religious now. That's all anyone's talking about. He fucking succeeded. And he's never going to talk about Trump again. He's never going to talk about politics ever again. Because look what happened. Every time Kanye opens his fucking big mouth about politics, he says the wrong thing. You know why? Because he's uneducated. He chooses to not be educated and then speak on things he has no grounds of speaking on. Saying that fucking slavery was a choice, bro. The same guy that said slavery was a choice makes Jesus his king. I believe it.
To be fair, he didn't straight up say slavery is a choice. He said, that sounds like a choice, bro.
That's true. That is what he said. I sorry to misquote him. He's like, that sounds like a choice.
And I get what he's saying. I think I'm picking up that people are finally understanding what he was trying to say, but he said in a very poor way. But no, you know what? That whole 5-minute tirade that you had, that was beautiful.
Yeah, and
because first of all, I could just hear everybody going, yes, King, yes, you're fucking preaching it. Like, I could hear the snapping, and you're right. You're absolutely right. But God damn it, if the tunes aren't fucking amazing. I will say though, yeah, I haven't felt that strongly of love for a Kanye album since that Trump stuff happened. Like, yeah. I like them and I say they're good, but for some reason they don't like stick around longer than they should, because they're fucking amazing. Like Kids See Ghosts, Yay, or Yay was fine. Or even like Life of Pablo, like, because that was around when I think the Trump stuff was going on, and you know, like the Life of Pablo was like the last thing I ever like adored from him. Like, I love that.
Yeah,
I love
the
that
Trump
album.
stuff happened a little after.
That was happening during his touring.
Yeah.
So I got to like love that one. But you're right. I think there is an unspoken thing that maybe I don't even know about.
Life of Pablo was being advertised as a gospel album.
I don't know if you remember. I know. I super remember that. That's why I was saying that I don't get why people are surprised, because Life of Pablo was technically, in his eyes, a gospel album.
Dude, Ultralight Beam might be the fucking best Kanye song he's ever made. That shit is so beautiful. See, I like
Waves. Waves. Not since we're talking about religion. I was saying this the other day.
supports Chris Brown also. Uh-oh.
No, but I've always said for that song Waves, first of all, the first time I ever heard it, I had a major religious experience
That
with
song
it.
is dope.
I felt it throughout my whole body, and I remember I cried. I remember I dropped.
Yeah, I'm the one you bitch like.
Hell yeah,
Oh.
dude. Yeah, I'm the one. Oh, dude, I am the one his bitch likes. Ah. But I just remember the only thing I wish would have been different around that song, because it came out during 2015, that album, or 2015, 2016. As me and Brandon, we always said Justin Bieber should have been singing that hook.
That would have been
Waves
great.
don't
That would have been really
die.
good.
Instead of Chris Brown. But
Chance the Rapper was gonna do it.
Chris. Oh God, no! I've heard Chance the Rapper's original version. It's
I think it's way better.
pretty bad.
I think it's way better. Well, whatever. But people disagree.
People tend to agree. But yes, I have not loved Kanye. I have not loved the Kanye project since then. And I think because these you know what? These projects that he makes, Yay, Kids See Ghosts, Jesus King, they're good. And the fucking God, Follow God, the flow on that one is just like, how does it
There
go
was
again?
some times where I was like,
Yeah. Here, let me see something really quick. How does it go again? Because I don't want to look stupid now. I don't want to look like I was just a lazy fucking stoner that didn't want to get up.
ooh, ooh, ooh.
Oh yeah. Yeah, so I was like,
Yeah, it's just dope.
there's moments like that in this album where I just think like, wow, that shit goes hard, and you didn't curse once, bro.
Yeah, but does that embody like?
No, but that's what I'm saying. But then I think it's missing, like, because these all feel rushed. If I'm being honest, like these are good, but they feel like rushed. Like they don't like Life of Pablo. Like I just remember watching that album metamorphosize, like by following him on Twitter. He'd like every morning. It was such an exciting time.
Light bright, light bright, light bright, light bright.
This is what your life like. Every day he'd post like a picture of his set list or of his track list, and then he'd be changing it, and then Kylie would change it, Kim would change it. They were just like, and like the titles were all different. I think he was gonna name Life of Pablo like Jesus is Love or something, or like God. Like he's been trying to name something Jesus is King for a while. But that was really exciting because we got to see it be formed. And you could tell that he was really taking his time within that. He was really building like a universe within this album. With like, I felt that on Yeezus. That's why it's my favorite rap album. And with Life of Pablo. But then afterwards, like the other ones are cool, but they don't feel like it feels just like I'm getting like a taste of what the whole project should be. Like I think Yay is a poor title and cover. That doesn't feel like an album. That just feels like a mixtape. It just feels like here's a random fucking mountain picture and my name in green. It just is like,
But that's like so iconic now.
It is so, you know, my mind might change about that in a few years.
Isn't that strange how something like this is a whole other topic, but isn't it strange how in being so crude and uninspired, it's like everyone's gonna know what that is now. Like I don't know. I think that's really funny to me. That something could like it's like that's technically not a good cover, but now it's like forever cemented in history. And it might be just because Kanye released it.
Yeah, because he's famous.
Like even his fucking Yeezus thing, like it's not even a fucking album cover, and now it's like so famous.
Yeah, that red tape, dude, that's fucking legendary.
Isn't that crazy?
Yeah.
Well,
Kanye has a big influence, and I understand that. That's why people feel so strongly about, you know, like this album, and because everybody loves him, but everybody's frustrated with him. Again, I don't speak for everyone, but I feel like for the majority of people, like we love him.
I'm just like,
but we're just like, come on, man,
stop being a dumbass for once, dude. He's so weird. His David Letterman interview, so weird. Like he's such a weird guy.
David Letterman. Oh, yes, his David's Netflix show. Yeah, I saw that. That was cool.
He's like such a strange guy. And I don't get him. I think he's an alien. And God made aliens, so. So So we're wrapping this shit up. We've talked about religion, and we're still friends. Funny enough, isn't that crazy? Or not?
strange.
Or maybe I don't know.
I did wanna. Do you have anything else that you want to get off your chest?
Nah. I am less against religion in real life. I was bringing it extra today just because I knew Chris was
Yeah.
gonna bring his fucking goody two shoes Christian boy shit. So I had to be like, the fucking, like the bad kid in Catholic school that like sets things on fire and like get all the nuns are like, get out of here.
Yeah.
Dennis the Menace.
To the Dennis the Menace.
Yeah.
I like that.
So what's up? I don't. So for anybody, there you go.
Well, I grew up Christian, so I thought it'd be cool to end this with, I know people might think I'm a bit crazy because I followed a whole religion my whole life, and that I still believe in God, and that I'm ridiculous because it's fake, bro. Don't you know that? Of course. And like, yeah, I know. But I wanted to share a couple things that I still get to enjoy from that religious experience, because I really feel like
These are things you enjoy today.
and that I think people outside of the religion can also enjoy,
Okay.
because
So people like me.
because it made me who I am, and I think these things are just like cool pieces of entertainment. There is some projects have a more heavy Christian angle than others, but I think they're all worth a listen in or checking out.
All right.
So I wanted to recommend three Christian songs that I was thinking about today on the top of my head, and it's funny that I'm saying this while I'm stoned, man. Shout out Pastor Ray Lou at Santa Fe
Shout him
Calvary
out,
Chapel.
fellow podcaster.
Pastor Ray.
Pod-
No, that's Craig
Podcaster.
Rochelle. Shout out to Craig Rochelle, Pastor Craig Rochelle from Life Church, Oklahoma. We're gonna meet one day, bro. Anyway,
Hey.
here we go. The first song I wanted to recommend is a song called "Made to Love" by Toby Mac. That one is like the closest of all the songs I've ever heard as a Christian in like the Christian artist realm. That is the closest to like a really good pop song, and it's generic and not generic, but it's vague enough to where you can really apply it to like a girl if you wanted to. Cause called "I was made to love you, I was made to find you,
Lord,
I was made just for you."
God.
There are some gods. That's how they write it. Like, let's just write it like about a girl and then throw God at the end.
Yeah.
That's how we'll make it dope. That's the
I
formula.
want to kiss you, Lord.
I need you deep inside me,
Oh my-
Jesus.
Jesus,
South Park.
Lord.
Need you in my life. Anyway, "Made to Love" by Toby Mac. That's a really good song.
Boom.
Very catchy too and fun. The second one, okay, this one is like straight up a worship song.
Okay.
But it's a
So
nice.
be ready.
It's a nice one because
The religious level's a little higher for this one.
the religious meter is about a 40 kilograms.
40 kilograms on the religious meter, so maybe like a more intermediate level Christian. This is for you.
Editor
This
Chris.
is not an entry level beginner Christian song.
Anyway, this one's called "Above All" by Michael W. Smith. And why I like it is because this is the first Christian song that I ever like just put on repeat a bunch of times. And me and my family, we used to sing this in the car together just because we loved it so much. Really
How
quickly,
wholesome.
like the pre-chorus goes, "Crucified, laid behind the stones, he lived to die, rejected and alone like a rose, trampled on the ground. You
Damn.
took the fall and thought of me above all." And it's a really sweet
Thanks,
song. Even if you don't
Lord.
believe in Jesus, like it's just nice. I think it's nice just for any outside. It's just nice to see, like, in a very wholesome, just honest, like loving way, how we see him. How we see him as like a hero, and we sing about him like an old
Superman.
like an old Greek, like our old Greek knight that we heard about. He's a hero to us, and so hearing that makes it all feel mushy and good inside. So it's just nice if you're interested. It's a really nice song. And the last one, very heavy on the
Very,
religious.
very high. For
100
advanced Christians only.
advanced Christians only and Spanish speakers only, I think, would have interest in this.
Shit. With the added difficulty level.
Yeah, dude, one of the first Christian songs I remember growing up with, but I actually don't mind it, and I still love it to this day. It's a song called Gracias by Marcos Witt. And it's just the guy saying thank you to God. It's just like, Gracias, gracias, Señor. Gracias, mi Señor Jesus.
Dude, that helicopter's gonna shoot you down right now.
He's like, enough with this fucking religion. It's like he's spreading the word of God. He's giving recommendations.
Get him!
End this shit now. Marcos Witt is a famous, I would say, like the Phil Collins of the fucking Christian universe.
Shit. So have you ever wanted some more religion in your Phil Collins?
Marcos Witt.
Marcos Witt.
So those are my three. Oh, and kind of just a general one.
VeggieTales.
If you have kids, yes, VeggieTales. I will promote
fucking
these
do
foods
it.
all the way. VeggieTales.
Put a picture of your stupid ass pumpkin.
I love VeggieTales with all my heart. And if you have kids, if you're gonna have kids, I can't speak to the newer ones. So I would say any of the videos, from 2012 and before, all those videos are great.
The golden era.
That's the gold. It's truly the golden era. Like from 2012 and before, because even 2012 started to get a little hokey. But that before that, like all winners. After that, they kind of become weird and like really very more childish. Because what I liked about the episodes is that they're here I am talking about episodes. Adults and kids enjoyed it. So 2012 and before. My favorite episodes are Lord of the Beans, Minnesota Cuke, and yeah.
So out of all the songs all the artists you recommended, who loves God the most? In your opinion.
Of Toby Mac, Michael W. Smith, and Marcos Witt.
Yeah, who loves God the most? And is that a factor in you enjoying the music?
No, it does not. No.
Like you're like, I don't know if they love God
but
enough.
you know what? I know it's kind of like a little bit. I know we're trying to wrap this up, but for a while, that's kind of how my dad would judge the Christian artists. Because when I try to introduce Christian rock and rap, he would like be very nitpicky about like they didn't talk about God here. They were talking about like their personal situation. So he tried to there were moments where he would kind of try to like discredit it because he thought I was just trying to sneak in, just bringing rock music. But that'd be no. He says God here. He's talking about this here, and then
you had to prove your
so
case.
it's funny that I still have to do it to this day.
Wild.
I think probably Marcos Witt because I think he just reaches more people, Latin people, and then Americans that are familiar with him. And he to me he's the artist that I feel like every Christian reveres the most. Like he's super friendly. Like you know what? Actually, he's not super friendly. He is the Spanish-speaking preacher at the Lakewood Church that Joel Osteen.
Oh shit!
So he is a monster figure.
He's a mega. He's a
so
mega guy.
I know he's kind of one of the megas, and he's probably just as evil as Joel Osteen potentially. But
Pokemon.
But I think in terms of things he's done and just like how big of a name he was in my life growing up, in my household, in my Christian household.
So he's number one God.
Yeah, because
lover.
Michael W. Smith was a regular adult contemporary artist who converted to Christianity, and Toby Mac was same thing. Like he later converted. Not that he later converted. I think he was always, but he just started making Christian music, and now now it's just like he's cool because he can balance the both. Now I think it's more God, but before, again, in the early era of bands like Cutlass or Toby Mac, and like their first two albums, they knew how to ride the wave of like modern music, but with just like enough of Christianity to like get you by and like through parents.
Sounds like the religious conversation is not over. So this sounds like a part 2 is coming up one day. Chris, I hope you find more religious things to talk about.
Oh, yeah. Honestly, we scraped. I think we scraped a good chunk, but there is more. I think there is more.
So, this dude's serious about his fucking religion. It's not just like I'm Christian, and like this dude listens to fucking religious music, which is so strange to me. Like we'll talk about this afterwards when the cameras are off, but like you're like a diehard. Like this is like a part of your life and your culture, and like pretty interesting, bro. People have layers. You think you know a guy. All of a sudden, he's a fucking Jesus lover. All right. Thank you once again.
I hope this doesn't end our friendship.
It's just like the last episode of the Us podcast. Oh, no. If God willing or God forbid. God
See,
forbid.
let's look at it.
Thanks for coming and checking out another episode of the Us Podcast. My name's Angel Salinas.
I'm Chris Carmona.
And that's God up there.
and that's our special guest, God.
Dude, we
featuring God.
Done the whole we should have done the whole episode like that. Wow, God. Like, dude, what an asshole of me. Be like, hey, we have a special guest, God.
God's right here. He's on his throne if you can't see.
It's like, hey, God, so why'd you create homeless people? Whoa, damn, looks like God doesn't even give a shit. Goodbye.
What's up, everybody? It's your boy Chris. Thanks for listening to another fucking awesome episode of the Us Podcast. Level 2. If you want to follow me on Instagram, you can follow at the Chris Carmona.
You can follow me at Angel I Salinas _.
Make sure to follow the podcast on Instagram at Us Podcast and check out our YouTube channels because we really need that support from y'all right now.
Listen to us on Spotify, listen to us on Apple Music, listen to us on Stitcher, literally anywhere you can get your podcast.
You literally have no fucking excuse not to listen to us, bitch.
Whoa!
I'm back, baby! Just kidding. Thanks, guys. See ya.
Bye.
Oh, thanks, y'all.
Holy shit! Ladies and gentlemen, we got him.
The version of you and me combined. The power of God and anime on my side.
That's what our protege is gonna look like.
Lover of God and
anime.
anime. That's a requirement. Must love God, must love anime. Boof, doof, boof, boof, boof.